Good morning. Bonjour. Viewpoints.
Refreshing views.
Viewpoints.
Refreshing.
In the morning. Refreshing views in the morning.
Refreshing viewpoints.
Good morning. I'm Sharon Sellers-Clark, your host of Refreshing Viewpoints. Welcome. Today, our topic is learning to walk, and our guest is Heather Whigham. Hi, Heather.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So today, Heather's going to tell us about how she learned how to walk again. I understand that you were diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis.
I was, yes. I was a healthy child, born healthy, but I come from a small town in northeast Tennessee. And when I was in third grade, I kept nursery at church and wiped a baby's nose that had spinal meningitis. Of course, the parents had no idea. And
Okay.
so I also got spinal meningitis.
Okay.
And was very sick in the hospital for about 6 weeks and missed half of the third grade year, but went on seemingly fine with no problems. And I went to a very large high school and was involved in sports and a lot of clubs and on the go constantly. But I had some aches and pains that were a little bit troubling. But I would go to the doctor and they would just do normal blood tests and say she's fine, she's just a teenager, she probably doesn't want to go to school,
Okay.
she can go to school. So I went on to college and woke up one morning and physically could not get out of bed and did not walk for the next year and a half. And in the beginning, the diagnosis was unclear. Autoimmune diseases all run together, and so I was tested for lupus and MS, and because I was in the mountains, Lyme's disease, and so it took a while for the diagnosis. And when the diagnosis came, it was pretty grim. My blood work showed that my kidneys were not in good shape, my liver, my heart, and so the doctor said, be prepared to die, basically. Your heart's failing, your liver's failing, and you're probably not ever going to walk again.
And you continued your college
No,
studies?
I was
Okay.
confined in bed, literally.
Okay. So you left school and went back home?
Oh, yes, I did. And I was very stubborn. I probably could have gotten in a wheelchair, but in my mind, that was death. And
Okay.
so I had always been a dancer and very active. And so for me, that was just, I couldn't do it emotionally. I just couldn't do it. So I just stayed in bed and crawled to the bathroom and crawled to the refrigerator I ate a lot of Jell-O.
Okay.
And yeah,
So eventually that turned around, obviously, because you are walking now and you are here many years later.
That's right. Well, it was not an easy journey. You can imagine at 19, while all of your other friends are doing everything that college kids do, and you think that everything that you've done is it. And so there was a lot of, I grew up Southern Baptist, and there was a lot of questioning God and why wasn't he healing me, and a lot of woe is me. But God is great, and it's often in those moments in the desert that we hear about so often in the Bible that we think, oh, that's for the olden times people. But it is when you're in the desert, when Jesus shows you. And I realized how selfish of me, and when you think of, we have no idea what Jesus went through on the cross.
Right,
and so if he could go through that, together with him, I could go through this. And it was really when I opened up and said, okay, Jesus, I'm here for you. Obviously, you have a plan. And Jesus and I went to battle together, and I got really in my Bible and said, doctors don't know everything.
Right.
And I started researching herbs and that stuff, and started taking that, and that started the path.
So there was a spiritual motivation that became part of you, or was stronger within you.
Absolutely.
And that got you on your way.
Absolutely. Instead of asking, why me, I turned the conversation to, what do you want, Jesus? What do you want to happen from this and use me. And once I switched that from why me to what, everything turned around.
And you learned to walk.
And I learned to walk all over again.
Well, thank you, Heather, for testifying and sharing your story with us. This has been Refreshing Viewpoints, and tune in next week.
It's your day, it's time for you to shine.
Greetings, Golden Isles.